Alright everybody, we are going to get 3.3 taken care of pretty quick here because there is nothing new to really show you. We are just doing more problem solving involving trigonometry and multiple triangles. So it's all just going to be the same thing, sine, cosine, tangent. In other words, SOHCAHTOA is going to be your best friend for this section as well. Okay, so if, for example, now I know what you're saying. You're saying, hang on a second, we're doing trigonometry and I see a cube. We're not doing cubonometry. It's true, but I can show you a problem with this cube that involves multiple triangles. Watch this. Boom! It's not a cube at all. It's actually a rectangular prism. I just made you think it was a cube. And more importantly, there is a red line, which is actually let's see here, let's pretend that it is a bar made of adamantium. Nerd. And anyways, it goes from the one corner of the rectangular prism to the opposite corner. And if I wanted you to find the length of that, find the length of that red line, how would you do it? So this involves multiple triangles, like I was saying before. If you can sort of see, there is a triangle that's sort of already made there. Let me kind of highlight it for you. There you go there, okay? This here being the right angle. That wasn't drawn very well. That's embarrassing, sorry. There we go. Okay, and so there's a right angle triangle, and the hypotenuse of that triangle is equal to the length I'm trying to find. So let's just call that, I don't know, A. I'm trying to find the length of A. The problem is, I know that the height of that triangle is 7, okay, but I don't know what the base of it is, okay? So let's call this B. If I could figure out B, well, okay, look here. This here is 4 by 6. All right, and so I can use, here's another right triangle right here, okay? And so B is actually the hypotenuse of that triangle at the base, and so I could actually figure out what B is using just plain old Pythagoras and work that out. Just leave it in your calculator, but if you want to round the answer to one decimal place and you write it down, that's fine. And it's roughly 7.2. And likewise, now you can use Pythagoras to get what A is, same process. And you get A is 10.0, so that adamantium bar is 10 whatever units long. And then in terms of bringing in some trigonometry here, if I asked you to find the angles alpha and theta, this is alpha here at the bottom, and then theta up here at top, you would have to use some trigonometry to find the angles there. So why don't you go ahead, you know how all the sides now, why don't you go ahead and use one of the trig ratios, whichever one you want to use, to find the value of alpha and theta, and we'll compare answers in 3 seconds. Go. Okay, so what trig ratio did you use to find alpha? I'm curious. Did you use sine or cosine or tangent? Because if you did, you're right, because you can use any one of them. They all work. So let's pick one. You say one, and I'll see if I can read your mind and see what you said. Cosine. Oh, okay, fair enough. So how do I do that? Cosine. So I'm going to use the cosine of alpha. Let's do that. Cosine of alpha is equal to the adjacent side, which is 7.2, over the hypotenuse, which is 10. And I just need to do the inverse cosine to get the answer. Okay. And then how are you going to find theta? Sine, cosine, tangent? You could, or if you're smart, you'll just go 90 minus 43.9 because they have to add up to 90 degrees because it's a right triangle, and you get your answer of 46.1. So there you go there. But if you did sine, cosine, tangent, one of those, you still would have got the right answer. So either way, there you are. So the problems that you're going to see in section 3.3 are going to be a combination of different triangles and word problems and whatnot. Nothing really crazy. So I'm just going to give you a problem that you can try and bring to class so I know you've watched the video, and I'll look at that for you tomorrow. So look at this question here. Alrighty. Here is a question here where I'm going to ask you to find x, but you'll notice that this is not a right triangle. In fact, it's an acute triangle. All three angles are less than 100 or less than 90 degrees. So sine, cosine, and tangent won't work. You can't do sine, cosine, tangent on this triangle, so don't try because there is no hypotenuse here. There's a longest side, but there's no hypotenuse because there's no right angle. So, the question you're probably asking yourself is, how the heck do I solve it? Well, there isn't a right triangle here. You still have to use sine, cosine, or tangent. So in order to solve the question, you have to make a right angled triangle. Let me just give you a little bit of a hint here. Did you see that? Because it's gone now if you didn't. But you can make a right angled triangle and then solve two triangles and maybe another angle. Boy, I'm just giving the answer away, aren't I? And it'll help you find x. So struggle with it a bit. You only have one question for homework and watching a 6-minute video, so don't complain too much. And I'll see you folks Thursday.